we are. There's Baldy Steve in the house. There's Cass chilling out, and we're going to start filming. It's a lovely morning in Altea. It's a frontline paint job today. This is where we are. It's a great place to do a bit of filming. Just to recap, this is the original tank that Steve done using a mask from Halloween and some mastic and some grout. Not the ideal products for an automotive painted tank, but we can sort that out. So now Steve's got an airbrush and he just wants to see how to use it. So I've offered to come across and we're going to rub it all down, get it looking better. Then we're going to get rid of the mastic so that the paint sticks better to it, get rid of the grout, so we've got deep eye sockets and stuff on the skull so it looks a bit more skull-like. And then once he's mastered all these things, he can get airbrushing and just use this as a blank canvas really, and he can spray it in what colour he likes and, you know, use his artistic license. Now we'll roll back to yesterday when we first got to Baldy Steve's apartment. We'd been in the bar with him, we'd had a drink, and we was going to go out on the town into Benidorm later on in the evening. So I actually took this opportunity just to quickly go up and get as much rubbish out of the skull as I could. That's all the mastic coming out, all the grout coming out, and as you can imagine, paint just does not stick to this. You can also see that as I'm doing it, the mask is actually moving because it's just a thin plastic mask. Basically, I knew we had to build that up underneath to make it strong, because obviously if it flexes once we've got all the lacquer and paint on it, it'll crack the paint. So this is where we was. Back to today and let's get painting. We're trying to get some of this black off because when Steve painted the plastic mask he didn't rub it down, so we just need it roughed up a bit because we don't want it all coming away off this mask. And then this black paint, I don't know if it's automotive paint, it's reacted with the paint underneath, so we've got all these cracks in it all around here, but we're going to try and make them part of the design, I guess. But the main thing is we've got to rough up as much as we can. So now we're going to get that on, we're going to have that on it, and we're going to just go over it because I just need it as rough as it can be, so every layer of everything sticks to the tank. Apologies for the wobbly camera, but now Karen's on the camera and Kazcam takes it from here.
Hiya!
Just trying to get this, where Steve didn't rub the mask down, it's flaking off, so we've got to get all this flaking off before we do our work, because we don't want our work to flake off as well. Can you see this is really smooth here? That's no good. It has to be rough. But it was a fantastic idea to get to the skull using a mask. I mean, I think it took me a week to do mine with a Dremel. And Steve just went out and robbed a little kid on Halloween night of their face mask, so that was a lot easier way of doing it. Let's just pick his nose a bit. But you can see it's looking better already because it's white. The skulls are white, and then we'll probably paint it a nice off-white creamy colour before we even do any airbrushing. Right, so we've got all the paint that was going to fall off, I think. That looks quite strong, that's strong, that's strong. We've got a bit of movement there, so we're going to put a bit of filler up in that. Oh look, it's loose there, look, so we'll do something with that in a minute. That's fine. Let's just check now, it's a bit loose that side as well. We might have to take this out, you know. Although it's quite strong, but it's moving, I suppose. I think we might have to just whip the angle grinder around that. So if you just move back the camera, Kaza, we just take a bit of that out. Where's that petrol? Yeah.
a lovely Saturday morning. We just keep enjoying a lovely calm day of it.
Just round. I think that's about it really, Steve, because I'm gonna build this up, give it an edge, proper edge to it, Steve. So right, we're mixing up a bit of filler, and we've ground out behind this face mask because we want to get it to filler both sides so it stays on. And then that needs a bit more in it. This will go so quick, you know. This is going to go so fast. This is what comes of workshop on the beach. More in there. That looks suspiciously still white to me. So let's put a bit more in. That's good hanging now, putting that in. You have to try and get all the filler from around the edge, else you tend to put filler on the tank and add activator put in it. And I always clean this off to get any filler off that ain't got activator on it. Right, here we go then. We're going to feel the top of that. I mean, how good does that look now? Now that going behind there. And we might bring this up, you know. Problem is, we don't want to be rubbing down, so we're going to try and do this in one hit, I think. So when that goes off, we've got to rub this in. Push it down under it, that's what we're doing now. Because we want it under it to hold it. Did that go under it? Yeah, it did, yeah. We'll put a bit more there. Trick is to wet your finger. And then it just runs over the filler a little bit. Get them eyebrows in. I don't suppose you've got some loo paper, Steve, because I've been taken short. No, I need to get this off my hands. Cheers. Is that alright, isn't it? Rachel's tablecloth. Just get some under there, I think. So let's give it a bit of the magic sun. I'm just ripping out paper because I want the skull to be coming out of a cave. So all I'm doing is really just ripping that out and just making it fit round there, you know. So let's get a bit more paper on that. So we're going to put that there. We're going to take that to there. Oh, get a little bit of tape on that. So that's one side masked up. Oops, fell off. And I think we will let it. I think we'll let it bleed under the seat. So this here is under the seat, yeah. And I think that looks alright myself. So we're going to have to move around in a minute because the sun has moved from the Mediterranean seaside to the beach side. So, and I want to get this red hot because we haven't got an oven, a paint oven up here, so we're going to have to use the sun. So there we go. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to just take this side out with my ripped paper. Right. I recommend using the front cover of a pad because it's glossy and the paint, sometimes you can put that on there, spray it, and you try and pull it off and the paint's soaked through and it's stuck to your tank. So there you are. Always buy a nice cardboard pad and then throw the pad away and keep the cover. Right. In fact, we could have given the pad to the little kid that Steve stole this mask off on Halloween. So if you're out there and you're a little kid, so there's that one. So we're just gonna stick these around this side, yeah. I'm round the corner in the sun now. The sun's moved around the building from the med side, so I'm just trying to get a bit of primer in this middle bit because, as I said, there's been so many weird types of paint put on this tank. We were very worried. I think Baldy Steve even left the decals, the bike name on the side of it, didn't you, Steve? So we've got to try and do something with them in a minute. But I think it's actually looking a bit like a bony skull now, so I'm quite happy. But we're just going to get some. I don't know about them holiday makers over there. Do you think they're? A lot of them have been choking and coughing, I've heard, but we'll see about that. But so we're getting this on in the sun because I just really don't want it reacting with the paint underneath. I want it to dry as quickly as possible. Just trying to build something up on it, you know. If we weren't worried about the problems with the different kinds of paints, we could have actually put primer filler on this and laid it on really heavy, and it just settles down and it fills any gaps in. But I think I'm quite happy with this. We haven't got a funny little mark there coming through, I think. We'll have to look into that in a minute. We'll start on there, Steve, yeah? Just fill that in, yeah? Too much white, too much black there. We'll come back to that. Kaz is on the camera as usual, getting the pictures. So we've really run out of time here now. We've managed to get the skull done, it's looking quite good. I'm sunburnt on the back of my legs from the sun, and really knackered from doing it standing up in the heat, but I've just decided to just show Steve roughly where the flames might go if he does them. He knows how to use the airbrush now, he's got his own airbrush, he's seen how to do it now. So what he can do with this, once we've lacquered it up, he can spray over it again and try again and change different colours. So all these flames, if he didn't want the flames around the edge, he could just spray it black and it'd just blend into the tank, so it'd just be a skull on its own. I'm going to do a little bit of Photoshop on the final image for Steve to show him what is possible if you got the time, and time, by time I mean probably a week to muck about with different masks and things and get it really stunning. The only other comment I had so far is Cameron thinks it looks like a creepy clown hair round the side, but you know, Steve likes it, so that's good. So I'm just going to finish this off, and we're pretty well finished. We need to get some lacquer on it with the tank really hot, which it is, so that we can try and seal in the black paint and any issues he's got. And then over time he'll just have to build the lacquer up and then rub it down, build it up, rub it down, and it'll end up being like glass, like the same, like my tank is. So we finished the tank for Baldy Steve. We got it done. We've had a little bit of the paint coming up, but the paint mixes weren't perfect, so that is what it is. But the skulls come out okay. Baldy's pleased. Let's have a look at it. Are you pleased, Steve?
Absolutely amazing.
Can I go home now?
You can.
To England. So guys, that's it on the tank. So Steve's going to put a lot more lacquer on it. We've put what 3 coats of 2K in it out of a spray can. They only have small spray cans here in Spain, so it's looking pretty cool on the tank, I think. But then once he does it, and rubs it down maybe, and then puts another bit of gloss on it, 2K gloss, it'll contain all the problems in the paintwork, and it'll be cruising. So here's a recap of the original tank to see how better it looks now, and also I've done him a little airbrush mock-up using Photoshop just to show him what's possible on the background around the skull once he gets rid of the fire stroke hair which I put around the edge of it, which I didn't really like in the end. All he does, he masks the skull up, sprays black around the edge, gets rid of the hair stuff, and then he could do this with stencils, a bit of fire in the background, and have a really amazing tank with his input as well, which is always nice to have your own input into your design. And finally, a great big thank you to Kaz on the camera, especially as it was her first time filming. She's done a great job. And a massive thanks to all you guys and gals for watching, especially. Please like if you liked it, subscribe, plus hit the bell if you want to see more. I really look forward to seeing you all again.